And I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. And I just felt so violated and scared. Like, I had never been through a situation like that ever. And not knowing who it was, like, I just woke up to a dark figure in the room next to me, laying in bed with his hands in my pants. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me, and I'm like trying to tap Jack, and I'm like, Jack, and he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me, and he doesn't care. I turned to the side, like closer to Jack, and I'm like trying to tap him. I'm basically on top of Jack in his back.
Jack Doherty's ex, McKinley Richardson, just dropped a bombshell. She's exposing him with shocking new allegations that could actually land him behind bars. And we're not talking small-time stuff. These are some of the nastiest, most disturbing things anyone could imagine. But it doesn't stop there. McKinley teamed up with another one of Jack's ex-girlfriend friends, Camila Aruo, on a podcast. Yep, both of them were caught up in Jack's manipulations. And now they're spilling the tea on what a truly horrid person he is. Buckle up, because this is going to get messy. In that clip, McKinley opens up about being assaulted by one of Jack's hometown friends. She says she, Jack, and the friend were all in the same bed when he started touching her while she was asleep. Yeah, it's absolutely vile. I don't even want to rehash all the details because it's that disturbing.
He just is saying, I'm gonna f you right now. And I woke him up, and Jack woke up, and I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hump me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I'm fucking her right now. And I was just shaking. I was crying. I was in shock. And he just gets up and leaves the room. And I stayed awake that whole entire night. Like, and Jack went to bed. And I just was like, there's no way that happened to me right now. Like, I don't know what to do. I wanted to go home, but I was like, well, in the morning, like, I guess, like, Jack will remember, like, you know, like, what happened. I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like,
what's worse? Nobody called the cops that night or the next morning. Nobody did anything. This should have been handled legally. Instead, this guy just walks free, able to do it again to someone else. And the excuse he threw out, saying he was on substances, is just garbage. No matter what, you never touch someone without their consent. Next, McKinley points out something we see way too often in toxic relationships. At the start, Jack was a total charmer. He wasn't toxic at all. Actually, he seemed super loving and caring. And that's how it usually goes, right? At first, the guy's all in, doing whatever it takes to win her over. Fancy dinners, gifts, jewelry, clothes, treating her like a queen. But as soon as he's got her, the mask drops. The real Jack comes out, manipulative, controlling, and straight up toxic. That's when the nightmare begins. Next, McKinley points out something we see way too often in toxic relationships. At the start, Jack was a total charmer. He wasn't toxic at all. Actually, he seemed super loving and caring.
I was so against it. It was against everything that I was, raised with.
And that's how it usually goes, right? At first, the guy's all in, doing whatever it takes to win her over. Fancy dinners, gifts, jewelry, clothes, treating her like a queen. But as soon as he's got her, the mask drops. The real Jack comes out, manipulative, controlling, and straight up toxic. That's when the nightmare begins. Next, McKinley drops a bomb about Jack being addicted to substances, specifically AD. For anyone who doesn't know, that stuff is basically caffeine on steroids. Makes you feral, crazy hyper, and explains why he's always pulling the wildest, most reckless stunts on stream. Now fine, if he wants to do that to himself, that's on him. But here's the real problem. McKinley says he was giving it to people on his team. That's insane. Why hand out unprescribed, dangerous substances to random people who shouldn't touch it? They could get addicted, have a serious reaction, or even overdose. It could be fatal. Yeah, that's straight up insane. Jack didn't even call McKinley his girlfriend until she signed a contract to start an OnlyFans. And honestly, that contract alone is super shady. It literally says Jack owns 100% of her social media accounts. Talk about a control freak. Seriously, this dude takes manipulative to a whole new level. Jesus, it gets worse. Once Jack had full control of McKinley's career, his personality did a total 180. Rude, toxic, skipping dates because, well, it didn't matter anymore. She was legally tied to him. But here's the kicker. He got hooked on AD too, and not just for kicks. He knew it would make him more money because it pushed him to work nonstop.
Then today, we got in one little argument. She swaps all her passwords, takes everything I've done for her, and doesn't even try to have a conversation with me. Calls these people on me.
The guy was literally exploiting everyone, including himself, for profit. Then McKinley spills how living with Jack was a total nightmare. His streams turned the house into chaos. People fighting, screaming, arguing, non-stop madness 24/7. I honestly can't even imagine how she survived that. I've got 2 younger siblings, and some days I feel like I'm losing it. But now, picture random strangers in your house all day, pulling wild stunts. Yeah, anyone would go insane in that environment. McKinley even revealed the insane story of Jack flipping a golf cart on her. And get this, they didn't go to the hospital, even though she clearly needed medical attention. Instead, Jack went off on a yacht with some other guy because, well, it was already booked. That's right. He literally put his streaming plans over his girlfriend's health. Absolutely terrible. Completely disgusting. Beyond McKinley's voice, there are now former associates and insiders leaking contracts, private chats, and audio clips claiming blatant manipulation, shady deals, and financial collapse behind the scenes. Some say Jack's agency promised girls a slice of income, hyped them with visions of viral fame, then pocketed most profits, leaving them with toxic pressure and limited support. One leak suggests he required content creators to sign agreements that heavily favored him, clauses locking earnings, taking control of accounts, or forbidding them from speaking out. Things are getting serious now. When major names in the industry start exposing Jack Doherty's shady business moves and how he's allegedly been making millions by manipulating people, it's clear this isn't just another internet rumor. The walls are closing in fast, and it looks like the truth is finally catching up to him. Reports are even surfacing that authorities might be keeping a close watch on Jack. In fact, sources claim that police recently showed up at his house, and that's no small deal. Once law enforcement steps in, you know the situation has gone way beyond online drama.
Access to my accounts and all of this stuff, the disrespect started showing. Like, he was not as respectful as he was in the beginning. A dinner, you could forget about it. We never went on dates. We never did anything like how we did in the past. He was strictly just, content. So I was like, how do you keep up with all of this stuff? Like, I'm exhausted. Like, how does your life, like, how do you continue to do this? And he was like, it's all. Like, you should try. He's like, you will be successful. I'm not proud of it at all, but I had a horrible addiction dating him because of him telling me I needed to keep up with him. And also, it's like when Jack's face is somewhere, I was always there. I had to keep up with him through a very long period with just not eating and just waking up and taking alcohol. And I weighed 140 pounds when I moved down to Florida. I wasn't eating for like a week at a time. Like, I was just not hungry. I was stressed out. I was depressed.
If these investigations go any deeper and the allegations end up being true, Jack Doherty could be facing the biggest downfall of his career. And this time, there may be no escape. Public pressure and petitions rising. Fans and critics are now filing petitions demanding accountability. One petition accuses Jack of promoting inappropriate content to young audiences via OnlyFans and calls for platforms to ban or monitor him more closely. This kind of grassroots movement is shifting the narrative from online gossip to real-world consequences, police intervention, and serious investigations. This isn't just internet talk. Authorities may already be digging. Reports claim police visited Jack's home recently, possibly reviewing claims tied to harassment, financial fraud, or misconduct. If evidence exists, bank statements, contracts, testimonies, those visits could lead to warrants or formal charges. Even more shocking, there's news that Jack was interrupted on a live stream when Child Protective Services, CPS agents, and law enforcement arrived, citing an anonymous tip of child abuse. Jack denied having children and claimed harassment or swatting. Whether that CPS incident is real or staged, it amplifies how high this is getting. It's not just PR warfare, it's intersecting with government agencies. Reputation tanking across the board, his follower count has started stagnating or dropping. Collaborators and sponsors are distancing themselves quietly.
Downstairs and sit on the couch and have a nice dinner, but it was not that. And his whole entire life turned into streaming every single day, 24/7. And it wasn't him being nice to me, it was constant disrespect. And that was something that was very, very new. Like, I was like confused. I'm like, where did the person I met go? Like, where did the person go that stood up for me and made me feel safe? And, you know, but again, this is all masked because he said it was just for content. But some of the worst things happened to me. Not everything was caught on camera that happened, but a big chunk of things were filmed when I didn't even want them to be filmed. A lot of emotional things happened to me, traumatic events.
You won't see him name drop many big brands now. The content he's pushing, luxury cars, flashy wealth, is starting to feel hollow when contrasted against these allegations. Plus, social media commentators are digging through old posts, screenshots, DMs, resurrecting things that Jack probably hoped stayed buried. Counterattacks, denial, and gaslighting. As expected, Jack's defense is in full swing. He's calling the leaks fake, the allegations drama, claiming people are jealous or fabricating stories. He said he's misunderstood, that he wants to set the record straight. But these denials are weak when multiple voices, documents, and recordings surface. He's also attempting to shift blame, painting McKinley as attention-seeking or saying she misunderstood things. That kind of gaslighting narrative is predictable, but it's losing power as more evidence emerges. The tipping point and public court of opinion. What's going to decide this is whether enough credible evidence lines up. Contracts, messages, voices, witnesses. Once that happens, public sentiment will collapse fast. People are already saying, blackout him, block him, cancel him. And if the legal system steps in, lawsuits, criminal charges, injunctions, that's the point of no return. He could lose assets, income streams, brand partnerships, and possibly freedom. How this ends or doesn't. There are a few possible endings here. Jack is found liable in court or criminal trials. Everything crumbles. He negotiates settlements, pays off some parties, suppresses some allegations, but never fully redeems public trust. He mounts a comeback, but only if he pivots hard, does public accountability tours, and reinvents himself, which is rare in scandals like these. And there you have it. Jack Doherty exposed like never before. From manipulation and toxic behavior to dangerous stunts and substance abuse, the full picture is shocking. If you want to stay up to date on all the wild celebrity drama, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you never miss a story, because trust me, this chaos isn't slowing down anytime soon.